Hey, my name is Mike Vaughn, and welcome to Pop Review. So, let me ask you a question. Do y'all remember that spy movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith from 2005? No? Well, let me break it down for you. It's a very middle of the road action comedy movie starring Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
Meet Mrs. Smith.
Have you been a bad boy?
Yeah?
Have you violated international law?
Huh?
You guys playing poker? Just want to play a few games if you're interested.
Meet Mr. Smith.
What do you look for?
The movie was mainly known for its behind the scenes drama where Brad Pitt and Angelina actually got together romantically on the set of this, which was not great because he was with Jennifer Aniston at the time. But besides that, it's kind of a very forgettable movie. But almost 20 years later, the brand is brought back by way of an Amazon television series. Why? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe it's to keep the IP. Frankly, this would explain why the series feels so rushed and uninspired. The plot follows John Smith, played by Donald Glover, and his Jane Smith, Maya Erskine, two random people matched and married through a spy agency. Through a mysterious messaging service, the couple starts taking on missions and living together as a married couple. Right away, Jane sets boundaries, yet, as they go through these tough missions together, the pair bond. Ultimately, love blooms for a while, yet all hell breaks loose in this rather weak reimagining. So, as I alluded to, nobody was really asking for a Mr. and Mrs. Smith series. Yet, here we are, and we have one anyways. But I thought this would be an interesting challenge, taking one of these movies that isn't maybe as beloved and giving it like a new spin, kind of like John Wick, of since that series is very popular right now. So why not try to add some interesting flair and intrigue to an IP that, let's face it, didn't really leave that big of a mark on pop culture? Alas, this show is even more bland and flavorless than you might think. The biggest thing that is broken with the series is how John and Jane are written. The pair start off as blank slates, and as the series goes on, we we only get mere glimpses into their inner lives, but nothing that could be remotely interesting or noteworthy. Sure, Donald Glover thrives as Michael, aka John Smith, but his charm can only carry the series so far. It boils down to both he and Maya are just done so dirty by such an underdeveloped plot. The missions, episode by episode, are varied by the numbers, and it's really nothing you haven't seen a million times before. Probably more baffling, though, is the fact that there is no big bad enemy that keeps John and Jane on their toes throughout the season. A connective tissue, like an overarching threat, could have gone a long way to bring everything together. Instead, what we get is a collection of action bits with way underbaked drama that is meant to kind of tie everything together. Making it worse is the fact that, let's just be real here, there is no chemistry between John and Jane. It is just utterly missing here. Again, I think both actors do a really great job at trying to sell this romance, but no, it's just too hard to swallow. Now, being generous, I think that I could almost get over this fact, but there's a distinct lack of world building here. For example, the agency that the Smiths work for is not defined in the least. So you can forget about a cool network of agents that add background texture or shadowy figures to provide any tension. Nope, you get none of that. What we do get is an instant message from a presence known only as Hi Hi that details their missions. If there was one episode that I had to highlight that sort of embodied what's wrong with this series, it would be the episode Double Date. So the plot is as follows. Whilst out and about, John meets another person with the last name Smith. Because I guess only people in this universe with the last name Smith are agents, he quickly deduces that this gentleman is also a spy. So they clunkily establish that they aren't the only spy couple in the area. Now, keep in mind, these are other spies. So what does this younger Smith do? Why, they invite them over, give them a tour of their house, show them exactly where their safe room is, and then they spend the night getting drunk and sharing seemingly classified details with one another. Even more wild is after a night of getting drunk and doing drugs, the older Smith couple invites the younger couple to essentially swap out a mission for them. Like, what the actual hell? All of these are huge breaches, and they're just never brought up again, meaning there seems to be no consequences to what the agents do. Not to mention, keeping a low profile is not the name of the game here, as Jane and John are seemingly always in these big public firefights. Sure, no one is asking for realism from their comedy series, but this is just ridiculous. The writers don't seem to care about making this feel like a fleshed out and interesting world, so why should we care? The answer is you don't care. Your eyes glaze over and you just are baffled by how seemingly some decent money was spent on this nothing burger of a series. Now, maybe that sounds harsh, but it's not as harsh as having to watch all these episodes, and really they just do such a weird job at wasting some really amazing talented actors. Ron Perlman makes a cameo, John Turturro. You have all these amazing people, and they're just kind of in a one and done episodes. So I don't know, it's very frustrating. And like I said, I was willing to give the show the benefit of the doubt because I think this could be an interesting avenue for a series. But yeah, it's really bad. Sadly, it doesn't really invest the time to have a really interesting show with real stakes and a real flair and personality. So that's my review. What do you all think of this series? I know this is going to come up a little bit before it premieres, but if y'all do check it out, what do you think? So much for checking this video out. Please consider giving this a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video.